Alright, I'm going to talk to you about how to make a pale ale. There's lots of beers you can make, but pale ale is probably the most simple. It really only involves a few ingredients: malt, yeast, hops, and water. Now you can get this stuff online, at your local homebrew store, or sometimes even a liquor store. You'll need a brew pot. Get a stainless steel one. Aluminum's fine, but get stainless steel. Just do it. In this situation, you're kind of like Jesus. Turn water into beer. I think you actually made wine, but beer is way better. Hail Satan! Now this is a mash tun. This is what you should be using. But since this is a beginner video, just use malt extract. The thing is, malt extract is kind of expensive. In fact, it's the most expensive thing in brewing. However, most starter kits come with malt extract or some sort of malt substitute or powder, which is your source of sugar for fermentation. Hops! Gotta have hops. Delicious, juicy, citrusy nuggets. The more the merrier. Yeast! Who else is cool enough to digest sugar and alcohol? Siphon, brush, carboy. You should probably know what these are if you have a homebrew kit. Something to heat all of this on. A stove will do. Bottle caps. If you get a homebrew starter kit, it'll probably come with some sort of capper thingamabobber. And bottling sugar. Okay, basic math. This shouldn't be too hard because I was in the slow class all, well, basically up until college. So, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals, yay! Alright, you want water to boil. Just for, you know, just make it boil. Once it starts bubbling, add your malt extract. The boil will probably slow down when you add it. Let this go for an hour. Now you don't want to constantly be standing by your brew pot waiting for it to boil because it never will. Instead, hang out in a nearby room. Keep an eye on it though. These things tend to erupt rather quickly. Stir it occasionally. Once you got a nice rolling boil going with your malt added, now it's time to add your bittering hops. These are the hops that you add at the beginning of the boil because more of their essential alpha acids get released into your brew, thus balancing out the sweetness of the malt with the bitterness of the hops. Come the last 15 minutes of the boil, now it's time to add your aroma hops. These are the hops that really add the pungent aroma to your beer. When selecting your own ingredients in the homebrew store, it's always wise to select the aroma hop if you like the smell. Eventually you'll want to invest in a real wort chiller, but for now, run it to the bathtub, throw it in cold water, and stir it till all the steam's out. The faster your beer ferments at room temperature, the clearer, crisper, and all around better it will be. When chilled to room temperature, add to your carboy, your primary fermenter, and fill the remaining amount of water, making 5 gallons. Your initial brew pot should have probably been around the 3 2-gallon range. Sprinkle in your top fermenting yeast, stir around, and add your airlock. This should ferment for about a week. When your airlock's done bubbling, siphon in your second bucket with a spigot on it. This would be the time that you'd usually do secondary fermentation, but instead we're going to go straight to bottling. You do want to prepare your bottling sugar first, however, before you siphon your beer into your second bucket. To do this, take your 5 ounces of corn sugar and boil with 1 cup of water for 5 minutes. Now what you're going to do is take your clean bottles and fill all of them, an inch from the top, with beer. What this bottling method is really doing is giving the yeast more food, sugar, to convert into alcohol. This releases carbon dioxide in the process, trapping it in the bottle, fusing it with the beer, making it bubbly. You'll now want to take your capper and cap each bottle. This is a very sticky and annoying process that can easily be avoided by investing in a kegging system. When using a kegging system, you're really forced carbonating the beer, cutting down on the time it overall takes to drink the beer. Now store these bottles in a cool, dark place for at least a week, preferably more, so that they can recarbonate. Some beers, more specifically Belgian-style ales, do well with age, but since this is a pale ale, this can be drank rather soon. So that's more or less pretty much it. Just remember, sanitation is key, and enjoy drinking.